Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you've been to a video of mine, welcome, and welcome back if you've been before. It's been some time since I did a video, and well, things have happened this year that obviously, you know, things happen you don't expect. And part of the reason that I've been quiet is that my husband's stepmother was unwell and had made a decision to go into a care home, and then about a week after she got there she fell and broke her hip, and she had surgery, but you know, she, as with a lot of people, she was 97, and you know, she just didn't do well, and she passed away in April. And so we've been pretty much sort of clearing our house ever since then. It's taken quite a while. You know, I hate to say this, but it sounds awful, but it was certainly a house of treasures for me. But you can see here I've got some of these things to show you. I love finding old documents and letters, and you know, so I mean, part of the reason I didn't just want to get clearers in to clear the house was that I felt we would miss so much that might be in drawers and cupboards, and certainly there was. So but we're almost at the end of it now, but it's taken us a long time. But anyway, we're getting there. So yeah, so anyway, I wanted to show you some of the things I've got here. It's a big it's a big selection. So just to say, to make things a bit clearer, this was my father-in-law's childhood holiday home by the sea. And he was married to my husband's mum, and she passed away. So there are still some things of her family, her and her family things left there, because my husband's stepmother never cleared out any of anyone else's things. I don't know. She may have felt that it was inappropriate for her to do that, but there was still all of John's mum's things left there. No, I mean, not like all her clothes and things, but lots of ornaments and knickknacks and letters and things like that. So anyway, so it's sort of been, in a way, it's been sort of like two families clearing out. But anyway, so my husband's father, one thing we found, these is only a few of the very many letters he wrote to his mother during the war. And they had these, he was abroad, obviously he was in India and Africa. And they had these little aerograms. Some of you of a certain age will remember aerograms, but these were, and of course he didn't really have a lot of space. So he's got this very teeny tiny but neat writing. It's so tiny. Obviously you want to fit in all the news that you can. So anyway, I've got absolutely loads of these. So I am hoping that they will, I'm going to send them to the War Museum along with some other things, and hopefully they will accept them. So going to war again, but First World War this time. We have some of these already at home, but we found more there of these gorgeous little cards. And this one is a lovely little envelope. It has a little envelope on there with a little card. It said, "To my dear wife." And these were sent during World War One between husbands and wives. And these are all from my husband's mother's parents, my husband's grandparents. So these are so gorgeous. I mean, some of them are have got a bit marked, but that says to my dear wife there, if you can see that. That one's a French one, because obviously a lot of them were over in France in World War One. It's got a little, looks like a little insect on the top there, and you've got some writing there. Some are written, some are not. There's some may have been put in with inside letters, I suppose. I also found these quite exotic looking cards, not embroidered at all, but I thought these were quite nice. I miss you more than words can tell. I'm thinking of you every minute. My heart's right there with you. And then you've got some yeah. Oh, yeah, that's my husband's grandmother Lily, who she says, she sent him this card and she says she'll write tomorrow, dear, a nice long letter. I'm just going to the hippodrome to cheer me up a bit as I feel so down-hearted. With love, Lily. And the hippodrome was, you know, places where they had entertainment, theatre and things like that, music and things like that. So I thought they were quite exotic, really, for that time. Anyway, what else we got? This one is also a World War One. It says, a message of affection to my dear one I am sending, to let him know I think of him with love that's never ending. And it says, to my dearest hubby, I'm enclosing a letter from Fred, obviously a friend or something, though perhaps you thought perhaps you would like to read it. Have you not had one? Well, God bless you. I keep you safe from your ever your loving wife, Lily. And that's a little French postcard that's actually, it says Raymond, so I don't know who that's from. So this is a World War One. This is called the Water Rats Gazette, and I've had to skim through it, but it seems to be a sort of comedy little magazine for the troops. And I think it's, if you look at this, it's called the Water Rat, and you know a lot of World War One was conducted in trenches which were quite often flooded, so I wonder if that's got that sort of a joke on that. Not that it was a joke, of course. Here I found, this is a very old Soldiers Release book. This was from John's father. This was 1946, so after the war had ended. This was his little book saying whether he'd behaved himself in the services and things like that, and that he was, you know, legally discharged. Oh, it does say here he had been training to be a solicitor when he went into the army. So it says, so he was doing, it says, an exceptionally good clerk who masters the technical side of accounting work rapidly and efficiently, carries out his duties with confidence and zest, displays initiative and perception. Ooh, there you go. So he got a good writer. But he went back to finishing his solicitor training. I believe that is my husband there. I'm pretty sure that's him. And his school. I think this is my husband's grandmother, Amy. I think that might be her. And look, I found this. it says the family hairs. And I thought, whoa, what's that mean then? So I looked inside, and inside are three little packets. Teddy, who was well, Tony was my husband's father. Teddy was his father, who was Edward, but they called him Teddy, obviously. And Amy was his mother. They obviously had put locks of hair. I haven't opened them because they're all sealed, but I can feel that I'm pretty certain it's locks of hair. So I'm going to show those to my husband. I don't think he's seen those yet. I just found them in a bag. Now here we've got some old photographs of my husband's dad, who passed away about 30 years ago. So I never met him, but it's him as a small boy. Looks a lot like my husband there as well. That one. Okay. And here we've got a poem that was written by his uncle. It says Tony of Winchester. I don't know, maybe they lived in Winchester, I'm not really sure. And it says his mother's pet and his father's joy here. So I thought, and this is WTA, is William Thomas Adey, who was he was a preacher in I'm trying to think what church it was, something like Unitarian. It was not one of the main faiths, like Catholic or Protestant. It was one of those offshoots. But several of his family members were preachers. This is when he got, my father-in-law would have got out of the army and gone back to doing his training. And it's a contract, basically, because, I don't know, but certainly in England you signed over a stamp, which was then a contract. So he signed it and the solicitor signed it. They've obviously taken him on where he had to do, it says 3 years from today's date. So he would work and do training, I suppose, at the same time. Or it was a practical part. He'd done the book work, I'm not sure. These look like ribbons from someone's army days, and patch there. And this embroidery I found, you can see that. It's Amy King, 1893. That's would have been my father-in-law's mother, Amy King. Found that. And this tiny little book, Help to Worship, some little prayers relating to Church of England service from the Book of Common Prayer. It's been taken from there. I found this really old cookery book. Now it's actually been published by the people that made these new stoves. And these were the first stoves that, you could actually regulate the gas. You see them there. Yeah, it had a lid on it. You can see the lid. But yeah, and an oven, and I think this was, it said the first copy of this was 1927. So they started from there. Regulo, it's called, New World Gas Cookers. I can remember as a child my mother saying Regulo 1 or something like that, to set the gas on the oven. So, and then you've got, to go with it, you've got a cookery book, and it's got loads of old loads of recipes and lots of things that have been stuck in here by people. Lots of old recipes here. Lovely lemons. That's not, let's see how old that is. That's 1977, so it was still being, obviously still being used then. Oh, look here. This is a little, this is my husband's stepmother's family attack. That was her name. Must be, that's recipes in there, so they must have sent, if you signed up they would send you more. Wedding cake recipe, ginger nuts. So there's certainly a well-used book, I'll say that. But so I think that certainly my this must have been my mother-in-law's, John's stepmother. So this is just a tiny book, a scheme of study and daily readings for adult schools. National Adult School Union. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but it's obviously giving you all the Bible readings to read through the day. Last but not least, I found this, but it made me think of Tim Holtz. You know how if you're a Tim Holtz person, you know at the Christmas you get these Christmas ephemera, and a lot of them have these frames which have obviously been taken from these boxes, old boxes of Christmas ornaments, and you end up with just this part as a frame. And this is also an old one, Woolworth glass Christmas tree ornament. We haven't had Woolworth for a long time, and I love this box here. I love the top of it, and I just think, oh, Tim Holtz could make something out of this. I did send him the pictures, but no answer, you know. You can see that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I just had to bring them home. So I just found these up in the cupboard where she stored all her Christmas stuff. And I have to tell you that I found 40 rolls of Christmas wrapping paper. Here's the biggest one. It's got, so I've got all this that I could cut up and use at Christmas. Well, it's been nice to go through some of this stuff to show you, and you know, so much of this stuff can be used in journals. You know, you can make pockets and just add in cards and letters. And oh, I forgot to show you this one. This was a souvenir programme for the coronation of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. That was in 1953, and it's still in fairly good condition, but got a bit wrinkled. I think it's got a bit damp from at some point. So, but I quite like the cover of that. So I really haven't made much. Well, I haven't really made much of anything this year. But I hope when we've all finished with this, we're just so pretty exhausted at the moment that I can't think of anything. But I just wanted to say hello to everybody, and I miss hearing from you, you know, after I've done my videos, but it's just the way it's been. So I'm hoping once we get finished and have a rest, and, you know, we'll get back to doing my journals and things. I have some Christmas ones that I have got ready, but just need to sew them together. So I hope this finds you all well, and I hope you'll be safe and happy and take care. So it's bye for now.